The word communication, which meaning to share, is derived from the Latin communicare, is the process of communicating a message to an individual or group of individuals in a mutually recognized actions, gestures, symbols, and semiotic conventions. In the same way that dialogue is learned talents, without effort, not everyone can communicate effectively. Enhance and improve their ability to communicate. A lot of communication takes place in a daily basis since it serves as tool for motivation, education, persuasion, and entertainment. It is crucial to acquire a range of abilities based on its intended use, in addition to being able to understand talks and data that comes from other people. Recognizing your target and it's as crucial to comprehend how the required information to be received as it is to we ourselves. Communication process. There are three main parts to this communication process. A sender transmits a message to the recipient over a channel. Prior to composing a message, the sender develops an idea and then sends to the other person, who decodes it and understands its meanings. Language used by information theories has become a little more complex. Creating a text referred to as encoding. Decoding is the process of interpreting the message. Sender. The person or entity that starts the communication is known as sender. The message's early success can be attributed to this source. The communication is influenced by the sender's experiences, attitudes, knowledge, competence, perspective, and culture. And also, the sender is the one who starts a discussion by composing and sending a message in any communication process. The sender is the first point of contact and has a crucial responsibility to make sure the message is intelligible, clear, and gets to the intended recipient. Messages. Information communication by word, spoken or written, or other signs and symbol is referred to as a message in rhetorical and communication studies. The message conveyed during a communication process might be either nonverbal or spoken or both. In the process of communication, the sender is the one who originated the message. This is meant to refer to the data that is being communicated from the sender to the recipient. Transmission. Transmission model communication is a one-way linear process in which a message is encoded by the sender and sent across a channel to a recipient who decodes it. Semantic or environmental noise might cause a disruption in the message's transmission. Consider text messaging as an illustration of transmission. Since the sender is unsure if the message was received at all or if its meaning was understood, the transmission of communication makes sense to describe an act of text messaging. Another factor that can impede text transmission is noise. Recipient. A recipient is the entity or device that is intended to receive a message, data, or information in the context of technology, computers, programming, and communications. Also, recipient as the one receiving the communication. It is up to the receiver to interpret the words, analyze the ideas, and decide how to reply to the sender. The problem lies in the fact that words frequently have various meanings to recipients whose education and experience may differ greatly from those of the sender. As part of recipient, the brain and the ear decode what is heard or received from the sender. Receiver. As the one receiving the communication, it is up to the receiver to interpret the words, analyze the ideas, and decide how to reply to the sender. The problem lies in the fact that words frequently have various meanings to recipients whose education and experiences may differ greatly from those of the sender. In order to give the symbol significance, the recipients start to decipher the sender's symbols and applies the message to their own experiences. When the recipient understands the sender's message accurately, communication is successful. Feedback. In communication, feedback is the one answer from the person who is being informed. Body language and head nodding are examples of nonverbal indicators that can be used for this. It may also be more direct, expressing certain opinions or refuting statements made by one side. In two-way communication, feedback is essential to make sure that both parties are in agreement and can help avoid misunderstanding or confusion. Additionally, it improves the relationship and trust between the sender and the recipient. One of the most important leadership qualities is the ability to provide constructive criticism on communication. Without feedback, communication is just information because it allows the sender to assess the message impact. Feedback becomes the most important element in the communication process. It assists the sender in making sure the message has been accurately understood by the recipient. Feedback cycle. The feedback cycle is the other significant component when two individuals converse. Rarely is communication one-way or exclusively. Upon receiving a message, an individual replies to it by responding to it. The feedback cycle is identical to the feedback reported in the sender-receiver cycle. In the figures, if not the sender is unable to determine whether the other parties correctly understood the message or they respond to it. A communication strategy known as feedback cycle gives both participants in the discussion an opportunity to offer input, raise concern, and clear up any misunderstanding. It's a two-way process that makes sure messages are understood by both sides. In this procedure, one person conveys the message and the other person either paraphrases, verifies, or poses question in response. The first person can continue the conversation by asking questions and offering more details until both parties are in agreement. A feedback cycle makes sure that everyone is on the same page and understand what is being said.